Emily Carter was the kind of person who liked quiet. She worked from home as a freelance editor and had recently moved into a modest one-bedroom house on the outskirts of town, just far enough from the city for peace, but not too far to be isolated. It was a good place to start over after her breakup. The first strange thing happened on a foggy Tuesday morning. Emily opened her front door to go for a run and noticed something odd on her car windshield. Someone had drawn a smiley face in the condensation, just a simple circle with two eyes and a crooked grin. She chuckled softly, brushing it off as a neighborhood kid being playful. But the next day, the smiley was back, this time with something new beneath it. See you soon, April 17th. Emily's heart skipped. That was today's date. She looked around the street. Nothing out of the ordinary. The houses nearby were quiet. No one was outside. Still, she couldn't shake the chill crawling up her spine. She wiped the message away and tried to ignore it. Later that day, while working at her laptop, she thought she heard a noise outside. A soft scrape, like gravel shifting under feet. She glanced through the blinds but didn't see anyone. Maybe the wind, a raccoon. But that night, while lying in bed and scrolling through her Instagram, her feed suddenly refreshed, and something made her stop cold. She had been tagged in a new photo. It was her asleep in her bed, taken from outside the window. The photo was dark and grainy but unmistakable. Her form, the blankets, the lamp beside her bed, the angle. It had been taken from her backyard. She sat up, heart racing, and rushed to the window. Nothing. She couldn't see anyone. She called the police. They arrived 20 minutes later, polite but skeptical. An officer took her statement, looked at the photo, and asked if she had any enemies, ex-boyfriends, or friends with twisted senses of humor. No, she said. No one who would do this. I just moved here. They did a sweep of the property but found no footprints, no evidence of a break-in or trespasser. They left, promising to keep an eye on the neighborhood. Emily locked every door and window, double-checked them twice, and turned off the lights. She didn't sleep that night, but what happened the next morning made her wish she'd left town the moment she saw that smiley face. The next morning, Emily felt like a zombie. She hadn't closed her eyes once. When she finally got out of bed, she dragged herself to the kitchen and poured a cup of coffee, her hands trembling. She glanced at her phone. There was a notification. Her Google Photos app had created a new album titled Emily Hart. She blinked, confused. She hadn't taken any new photos. Opening the album sent a chill down her spine. There were at least 40 images. Photos of her walking, eating, brushing her teeth, sitting at her desk, watching TV, even sleeping. Some were taken through windows, others from angles that suggested someone had been inside the house. She dropped the phone and backed away. She hadn't heard any footsteps, seen any movement. How could someone have gotten in without her noticing? She picked up the phone again, scrolling through the album. One image made her breath hitch. She was brushing her teeth, but behind her, reflected in the bathroom mirror, was a figure. Just a sliver of a face. Pale skin, shadowed eyes, and a mouth curled into that same crooked smile she saw on the windshield. She dialed 911. This time, they sent 2 officers. They searched the entire house from attic to basement. Nothing. No forced entry, no hidden cameras, no signs of tampering. But the photos, they couldn't deny those. An officer took her phone in for evidence and promised to follow up. Emily stayed with her friend Brooke that night. Brooke was loud, cheerful, and a little reckless. Exactly the kind of energy Emily needed. They made dinner, watched horror movies, and tried to laugh off the situation. But Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. She felt watched, even in someone else's house. That night, while Emily was brushing her teeth in Brooke's bathroom, she heard a faint click, like a camera shutter. She turned around fast. Nothing. The bathroom was empty. "You okay?" Brooke called from the living room. "Yeah," Emily lied. She double-checked the windows and mirror. Nothing suspicious. Still, she couldn't sleep. Every shadow seemed to move. Every creak in the house sounded like footsteps. The next morning, Brooke found her passed out on the couch, clutching her phone. "Let's go to the police again," Brooke said. "Maybe you should stay somewhere else for a while, or get a hotel." Emily agreed. But as she packed her bag, she noticed something odd. The bag had been moved, slightly shifted from where she'd left it. She opened it. Inside was a small Polaroid. It was her, sleeping on Brooke's couch. Emily didn't go back to her house. She checked into a hotel downtown under a fake name. She switched off her phone, bought a cheap burner, and paid in cash. For a day, things felt normal again. Safe. Like the nightmare was finally over. But that night, she turned on the hotel TV, and it flickered to static, then to black. Then a video started playing. It was her, walking down the hotel hallway, unlocking the door, taking off her coat, getting into bed. The footage was being streamed, live. Someone was watching her, right now. She screamed and ran out of the room. The hotel security searched the place. No one unauthorized was inside. The manager offered to refund her and told her the cameras didn't have streaming capabilities. But they couldn't deny what she saw. She moved rooms again. Same result. The stalker always found her. Emily began to unravel. Her hair grew unkempt. She barely ate. Every night, more photos appeared. Sometimes slipped under the door, other times posted online from the dummy accounts. The police still had no leads. Brooke stopped answering calls. Emily tried hiring a private investigator. His name was Marvin Glass, a grizzled former cop who'd seen it all. He believed her. He installed hidden cameras, checked the vents, changed the locks. That night, the cameras caught something. At 3:04 a.m., a man entered the room, not through the door. He crawled from under the bed. He stared at Emily while she slept, took out a phone, took pictures, whispered something Emily never heard. Then he slid back under the bed. When Marvin showed her the footage, Emily screamed until she passed out. The man was wearing a mask, a pale rubber face with a painted smile. It was grotesque and childlike, like a twisted clown doll. Marvin and the police reviewed the footage frame by frame. No prints, no ID. The man never showed up leaving. It was as if he vanished into the walls. They searched the room. Under the bed, nothing. Behind the walls, nothing. Until Marvin found a small hole in the closet. It led to a maintenance tunnel. Inside, they found a mattress, food wrappers, candles, dozens of photos, all of Emily, years' worth. Some were taken in her old house, her childhood bedroom, even her college dorm. The man hadn't just started watching her, he always had. The hotel was evacuated, the tunnels sealed, police issued a citywide alert, but the man was never caught. Emily changed her name, moved states, got therapy, tried to live a normal life. Months passed, then a year, and then, one morning, she opened her new apartment door and saw it, drawn on the mirror in the hallway, a smiley face, and beneath it, "See you soon."